Hello, ladies. I just checked my analytics and figured out some stuff, and chicks dig me, so that's cool. Uh, Evidently, guys dig me too, but I like hear about the chicks, right? No, listen. Thanks for stopping in. I wanted to go to sleep and I couldn't, and so I wanted to just talk because that's all I do now. And I relax when I talk. But here's the thing: I found I was going through some old files, and I grab files, things, statements, kind of archive stuff, create my own library. And this is not. Actually, I'm gonna put this up as a banner. This is gonna be a boring show. This is not when I'm chit chatting. Really, it's not gonna be fun. It's just I wanted to share something I had on my uh, multiple drives here. And anyway, what do you know about Bolivia? I don't know anything really, but I do know. So they had in like 2019, they had an election, and there was some questionable things about it. And anyway, they ended up having an interim government for a while until they could get things straightened out. And I don't know what ever ended up happening with that, but it was interesting because when I found this article, no, it's not an article, it's a written story about a first-hand knowledge of what was happening on the streets. So it could be fiction. It could be real. I don't know. I'll let you decide what you if you want to believe it is real or if you want to believe it in fiction. It doesn't matter. Just this is just food for thought. This is just the entertainment of the intellectual mindset, the entertainment of critical thought, the entertainment of what if. So anyway, it seems pretty neat, and I haven't read this in a while. When I saw, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna share this with everybody. So if there's anybody interested in this, we'll figure out a way to put this up so I can share it. But anyway, so this article was in response to things that are happening in America with the our summer of love we had just a few years ago. So this person wrote, and again, this is their experience of because they're saying they had the same type of people in Bolivia. They're saying that this is an on the street. This is your neighborhood. These are your neighbors. These are your friends. This is your family. This is what happened to them. So, uh, a lot of this, I think maybe I even found this during the uh, shutdown because I was surprised that the shutdown was so orderly. I was really terrified that we would have a situation where people stopped being nice to each other, stopped being cordial. There were a few times when I felt that way. A few times people just kind of forgot manners. And anyway, uh, but maybe that's my fault. So here we go. This is fourth generation warfare. Their goal, and I think you can understand who they're talking about when they say their goal. How do I get this bigger? Does anybody know? Let's see here. Where do I hit this? Oh, there we go. Okay. I want you guys to be able to see this. Let me go back over and check out my StreamYard. Yeah, you guys can see this. Okay. So this is fourth generation warfare. Their real goal is ideological subversion and regime change. They also have to protect their clients, i.e., no one is talking about freezing assets or war with China anymore. The system is in peril, and that's why they reacted like they did. Our government ran this shit on us back in November after committing election fraud. Again, this is this is a fictional thing as far as I know. Okay, so we rebelled, or rebelled. Excuse me, we rebelled, and these households threw rioters into our neighborhoods to attack our homes. This is your neighbors, your friends, your families. These kinetic actions were always amplified with a psyop component in complicit media, state-run media. They use bots, trolls, Twitter feeds, Facebook, and edited videos to amplify our racial tensions to turn the passive population against us. And again, this is something from several years ago. This is like, I mean, they're talking about this happened in 2019 in Bolivia, and I found this several years back. We were subjected to an all-out terror campaign. They wanted us to accept legitimate leadership. Rioters burned down houses belonging to leadership and journalists. Their goal was to set off an all-out confrontation between the urban middle classes and the native population in a race war. They wanted us to shit our pants and be willing to give up our basic freedoms by making things so ugly that we would welcome a military intervention. This right here, this statement, is one that you should always remember. This is why the Second Amendment's always under attack. They don't want you to feel like you can protect your family, your friends, your neighborhood. They want you to call the government to protect your family, your friends, and your neighborhood. The scariest words to a lot of people is, we're from the government, we're here to help. That goes back to Prohibition times. So see, this is all one big history thing. We're taking a history it's not only repeats itself where you're at, but it's like how time is flat. Okay, it goes everywhere. The same history will repeat itself everywhere. The nastiest psyops was on the 9th of November. They wanted to cut the flow of anti-government university kids coming to riot to the capital from other cities. At this point, we were trying to burn down the presidential palace with our rioters, and their rioters were trying to kill us in the streets. Our boys busted more than 10,000 people to level the odds. I don't know who these people are. Again, this could be fiction as far as I know. The government noticed that the most active protesters were girls. So they gave orders to stop a busload of uni kids. This term, uni kids, means university. From Sucre, a roadblock in Villa, where their supporters dragged all the guys off the bus, beat them to a pulp, and raped the girls. They then televised the accounts to discourage kids from busing it to the capital, since nothing causes terror in women quite like that. We wanted to light them up real bad after that, because for the communists, this was their means to an end. The real war you're fighting is not on the ground, it's the information war being waged to sway the passive population. That's the one y'all need to focus on. This is a Bolivian talking to America. And if things get stupid in your streets, here's some lessons from the Bolivian resistance. We had no central leadership. Everyone defended their hoods. We had a sticks and stones row. What's row? I do not know what the term row would be applying to. Rules of engagement. Sorry. Okay, moment of clarity. Sticks and stones, rules of engagement, because the government wanted us to light up the rioters, since they were looking for an excuse to militarize the city. We kept them out by setting up roadblocks on strategic streets and bridges. Think of it as medieval warfare with cell phones. Our mayor actually sent us dump trucks full of rocks to build barricades and to use as ammo in the skirmishes. You think a pallet of bricks can cause trouble? Our kids got a dump truck full of rocks. The Karens at the 29th Street Bridge freaked out when they saw their rock pile and ordered their husbands to toss it into the river so it would not fall to the enemy. Those dudes were not happy about that. Roadblocks were supported by KRFs, I don't know what that is, Motorcycle Cavalry, and the other one that was straight out of the book of Boogalations, so we don't talk about it. I have no idea what they're talking about there. Girls and older ladies ring doorbells for bottle and gasoline donations. And if a bunch of women in your hood are making Molotovs, it's usually an indicator that the big Eskimo party is no longer an internet meme. Commercial dynamite was being used by the miners. It's traditional, partitioned into 4 parts, primed with number 8 caps and short fuses. They tape a match, light the fucker, and toss them at us or the cops. The shockwave travels at 1,700 feet per second, and on a suburban street, it scared the crap out of everyone. We had our miners and they had theirs. Few of them lost hands and fingers doing this shit. The day after the police mutiny, the Goblins torched 44 police stations in 12 hours. That's when the cops told the civvies to pepper their Anguses because they were overwhelmed. They trucked documents out to schools and other locations and got ready to defend the Alamo. In the end, a crew of Spartans with good logistics held off the Goblin army. We would have won had the military not stepped in, because those were our streets and we were defending our homes. Remember, you have home field advantage. Your opposition does not. All you have to do is fight smart and keep your use of force proportional. Dead guys only create nasty headlines and more rioters. Set up your own rules of engagement and talk to your cops. Everyone chipped in with food and donations. Businessmen paid for buses and bought shields for their local roadblock boys. Some old lady came out of her building one day and gave us 3M masks to the kids from her hood, telling them to go to the palace and tear shit up like she did in the 70s. We had friendlies in the unfriendly neighborhoods that would call us up when the Goblins were getting ready to roll. We had motorbike scouts, old couples in tall buildings acting as lookouts, and a good comms network. But the real war we had to fight was in the media, their most powerful weapon. It's about disinformation, control of the narrative, and the spreading fear. We discredited their shit with our feeds. We need to post pictures. You need to post pictures, images, memes, everything. Otherwise, they run the show. Since they own the media, we started our own media with WhatsApp groups and Telegram undergrounds. We had middle schoolers trolling their trolls in our videos, and reported the narrator was required to state time, date, and place to counter the PSYOP videos the bad guys were throwing at us. That's a really good point. The narrator was required to state time, date, and place. Everyone from a bunch of 8th graders to little old ladies were part of our boogaloo, and it was glorious. If you don't have a physical fight to help, you don't have to physically fight to help. Everyone contributes in the fields. They know it's about stopping the fear and panic they want to create. And when people get involved, they don't feel helpless. Remember, they are not waging a war for hearts and minds. This is a war for short and curlies. They'll keep this shit running for weeks until you are mentally exhausted and burnt out. You have to break the cycle. Otherwise, the entire planet is fucked because the shining city on the hill cannot fall into the fucking communists. Wild, huh? So, anyway, yeah, it was interesting. That's always been an interesting read, I thought. I don't know how to take it, really. I know that Bolivia had problems. I mean, all the battling was true. It's interesting to see if that's a true narrative. It's interesting to look at how, imagine that as being Minneapolis. Okay, that was the big one we saw. Imagine that being Portland. Remember when Portland, I mean, they showed up one day outside that federal courthouse with not riot shields, but homemade shields that were they're using like Roman legion. What's it? Not I guess tactics or style of putting the shields together and everything to go towards the police that were shooting tear gas at them. Tear gas after that year, I realized it doesn't work. Uh, you have to have tear gas works when there's an instantaneous riot, but it doesn't when there's a planned riot. But this is a weird time, and a lot of people are showing that there's indications that this type of stuff is popping up, uh, ready to get lit for summer of 22. I don't know. All I know is that all you can do is try to be prepared for the little things. If you follow hurricane preparedness, you will be prepared for anything that comes your way. When the federal government tells you you need 3 days of food and water at your house, you better think you need 3 weeks. Always buy an extra, whatever it is, your comfort food is, or something for your protein, anything like that. Buy an extra one while you're at the store. Uh, when the pandemic hit, the first few things that I was amazed at, I knew milk would be gone. I was amazed how fast powdered milk went. The main thing was I couldn't believe potatoes. Potatoes went. They were gone the first day. When usually there's crates of potatoes at like my local Walmart, and every single one was empty. So anyway, you know it's not a bad idea to just be prepared. There could be a power outage at any time. There could be, I don't know, there could be an impromptu riot. There could be a storm that hits. Just always be a little extra prepared. Make sure you got enough. Make sure you have enough lead. Make sure you've got enough go juice. Make sure you got enough everything you need. And, guys, like I say, always cover your six. Be careful out there and stay safe. And when you get a chance, read a little bit about Bolivia and their elections. And think about what I just read and see for yourself, decide for yourself if you think that's real or not real. And straight out of the playbook. Thank you. Jules, yeah, you got it. So, anyway, guys, I love you all. Stay safe, sleep tight, dream of beautiful things. And until tomorrow, and all through the day tomorrow, Godspeed, y'all.